You are listening to the Savage FINcast, episode 85, a ghost!
Chicago. A criminal mastermind called Overlord held our city in his terrifying grip. Ordinary cops were losing the battle against Overlord's super freaks and mutants. Then, a miracle happened. When I found him, he had no memory of his past. I helped him find an identity and a life. Now we have a fighting chance. Now we have the dragon.
This is the Savage FINcast, the show that just rips out the back of your pants. My name is Jim Purcell.
I'm Raven Perez.
And I'm Zach Hawkins.
Whoa, Zach Hawkins. I remember you.
Boy! Fucking British invasion is 1815.
Yeah. Our friend Zach has decided to join us while Craig is in parts unknown.
Africa.
Yeah. We know. We know. They don't need to know. But yes, no, Craig is down in Africa. Mm-hmm. Something rains.
You know,
preaching the word of our Lord and Savior.
Pretty weird that Craig goes to Africa and then suddenly the rainforests start burning.
It's two different continents.
You're ruining the gag, Purcell.
Am I? I believe I'm enhancing the gag.
Well, at any rate,
he's got a hell of a swing.
I'm ready to gag. Let's get it rolling.
All right. Unfortunately, one of the casualties of Craig's little trip was a couple of weeks ago. There was a convention, a comic book convention in my neck of the woods, which I invited both Raven and Craig to come, and we were all going to get together, big FinCast threesome for the first time ever.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Craig had to cancel. He had other plans come up last minute, but Raven made the trek. All right. 8.5, 9 hours of the drive.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
And he did it on his head. Mm-hmm. And then we went to the convention on Friday and for a couple hours on Saturday. Unfortunately, my fat ass couldn't handle 2 days in a row.
It was his legs, really.
My legs died. I wore the wrong shoes on Friday.
Dead man walking. But
Terrificon is a great con. It may even be, may I say, terrific. In terms of comic content, it is very much a comic convention. There were many long boxes dug through. Several comic creators met.
Think of it like Heroes. If you've been to Heroes in the Carolinas, then you know what to expect from Terrificon. And again, that's a beautiful, rare thing because so many of these conventions in America are finger quote pop culture cons because they all want to be the San Diego Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. So they just fill their fucking stuff with like TV and wrestlers and washed up celebrities.
I didn't see one single wrestler, and I'll be honest, I was disappointed.
I mean, you know what? I love wrestling and I love wrestlers, but keep your goddamn ass out the Comic-Con, motherfucker.
Our biggest star was Val Kilmer.
I think Billy D. Williams would disagree with you, but sure. Val Kilmer was there, looking like it's late stage Val Kilmer. If you're listening, audience, not the Val Kilmer dreamy dreamboat Batman of your dreams.
Top Gun.
Yeah, not that Val Kilmer. We're thinking more like fat
Val Kilmer.
I will say, sadly, we did fail in our one actual mission, and that we did not meet Dave Johnson. Which every time we went to his desk, he was on break or somewhere else.
I had a lovely chat. I had a lovely chat with the lady that was working his booth while he was gone. She was a sweetheart from hell, and I have that art book, and it's fucking ravishing. But I think, Jim, I would say that it was a smashing success because anytime you get to bring up Dart to Colleen Duran, that's a win.
Yep, she remembered the character. Mm-hmm. So we were talking about the one pinup she did. She did a poster pinup, and I went doing some research. Apparently, that poster is actually in Dart #1, which means I don't have it, which means I want it. But the big gets for the weekend were I got a pretty much complete Savage Dragon run up to issue 35 or 40, which I need for the retro reviews now that I am doing them. But in general, I just kind of want to fill in my Savage Dragon run in physical copies now, just to have.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but I'll be honest. The only reason I really want them is because the digital files of the digital versions are actually quite inferior to print. So in this particular case, they're worth having.
Yeah. Plus, I doubt your digital files have all of the supplementary material.
That's true. They are. You know what? They have backups in letter pages, I think.
Oh, well, that's everything.
Yeah.
All right.
But I knew no, they don't have house ads. See, I need house ads and I need pinups. They don't have pinups.
Yeah, those house ads they're clutch.
Because as we go on with the retro reviews, the pinups and house ads are going to be like, quote unquote, super important to me.
It's part of the time capsule, the journey.
I
didn't do too awful much. Like I got like a bunch of Black and White Turtles issues for like $1.
Those were cool to find. If I had found them first, I probably would have grabbed them. But you seem really excited when you got your hands on them.
I was like,
like some proper Eastman issues?
No, the Image series.
The Fosco ones, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I got those for like a buck each.
I think you got them in the 50-cent bin.
I paid $1.
Or maybe those were $1 each. But still, those issues are getting really stupid hard to find. They're worth more than $1.
Yeah, and it was great because like I was like, Jim, oh my God, Jim, look. Like I had to be cool, because that con was a con of chaos, dude. Like the thing is like, you could pull out a Gen 13 #1 in this guy's thing, and it was $1. And then you would go like 2 rows down, and there was a guy trying to get $30 for it.
That was the thing. I found 3 copies of Gen 13 #1 original miniseries. The first guy, I don't know. I'm currently collecting Gen 13 on the side. I don't know why.
It's good. Who cares?
But I found #1 in a bin. The very first bin I dug through, and the guy wanted like $10 for it. I think was the sticker price. Right. So I gently tapped that back into the box. Mm-hmm. And then later on, we did find a like $30 or $40 listed one, which I think we found a $30, $40 one, just plain decent shape copy. Yep. Then I saw a $200 signed by writer and artist.
Yep.
And then I found another copy for $1.
Yeah,
that's
yeah, boy.
And that was that whole.
I think the most difficult issue of Gen 13 to come across these days was the Max crossover one shot. Like that's impossible to find anymore.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
one.
I was trying to find it because back a few years ago when IDW were reprinting Keith's the Max, I wanted to basically just round out the collection.
Was that the one thing they couldn't reprint?
Yeah, because I think I don't know why they could.
DC owns it, but they work with IDW sometimes, so.
Yeah, but the thing is, obviously I don't think Keith illustrated that one, so I don't think they thought it pertinent, but it was kind of like... That makes sense. I want it! But like, I saw 2 copies being advertised for like £200 online, and I was like, no.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
No, it was fun. I don't get to dig through bargain bins as much as I like it, and Terrificon just had so many. So many. I spent way more money this year than I did last year. Way more than I should have.
You know the problem? This motherfucker right here talking. Because, like, when I'm next to you and Jim's like, ooh, I'm like, dude, look, get it. Just get it. Just get it, Jim. Jim, look what I found. Jim.
Ooh, I also finished getting my complete run of First Comics E-Man, which was a big deal. Because I
got it signed.
Oh, yeah, and I got issue #1 signed by Joe Staten because he was there, too.
Savage Dragon fans will know E-Man as the guy with the big E on his chest that was at Savage Dragon's wedding.
It says E = MC square on his chest.
Yep. Yeah, orange and white.
He's a fun. E-Man is kind of like it is arguably the first quote unquote independent comic, because of just how it started at Charlton, but then when Charlton folded, Staten kept the rights and then kept self-publishing it for a while. And so I think a lot of people consider him like the grandfather of like independent comics. But anyway, what was I saying? What was I even saying? E-Man's kind of like also like one of those first like subversive, satirical superhero comics.
A bit like Megaton Man, basically.
Well, even earlier than that, but yeah, because E-Man's out of the 70s, where like Megaton Man is like early 80s at best. I think. I don't know. I don't have my Wikipedia open.
I do know. I will say fucking Megaton Man represent There were so goddamn many Savage Dragon versus Megaton Man issues.
Yes. I also saw many, many copies.
They were everywhere. I was like, they must have printed 1 billion copies of Savage Dragon versus Megaton Man. It was everywhere, dude.
Yep. Could not avoid it.
Yeah.
First appearance of She-Dragon in 20 years, it's going to be worth $300.
It was bad, dude. So we had a very Savage Dragon-y type convention experience.
It definitely was themed Savage Dragon this year.
Because we were just looking around and talking to cats and stuff, and that's what was the bummer about Dave Johnson. We were going to get him to be like, "So, Dave, remember Super Patriot?"
Yeah, tell us about Red Sun.
Yeah, exactly. So it was good, dude. It was a super blast. I wish Craig was there. Me and Jim got matching crayon drawn portraits to make Craig jealous. So, and we now have inside jokes that we're gonna laugh about. Like, I'll just say, "Hey, Jim, remember that Super 8?"
That was a fucking Super 8. Yes.
Yeah.
I felt like I was going to die in there.
You probably, if you went in the wrong hallway, maybe.
Someone hotboxed your fucking hallway. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, dude. It was 420 in that hallway.
Yeeks.
All day. 420, 24/7.
So I don't go to conventions enough, but I thought it was a good one.
It was a good one. As someone who has, used to go to them, like, pretty good. Like, you have a very good, everybody that would, if you get a chance, if you're in that area, like the Mohegan Sun Casino in Connecticut, you will fucking have a really good time. It's very reminiscent of Heroes, which Heroes is highly regarded. I think that if that convention of yours, Terrificon, stays the way it is, if it doesn't fall like...
Well, I'll tell you, from last year, it was pretty much identical, just more. There's way more creators this year.
I will say that, like I said, the only thing that con had that Heroes doesn't was it had the presence of celebrities at all. Like, HeroCon doesn't have celebrities at all.
Oh, really?
It's just fucking comics. Like, just straight comics. Artists, creators. Like, so I think that what's cool is how, like, the highest compliment I can pay a convention is that it was like HeroCon, because HeroCon is just like everything you want from a comic convention. So as long as the celebrity presence doesn't grow, as long as they keep it on retailers and back issue bins and artists, dude, Terrificon is like a second HeroCon. Like, it's fucking great.
Yeah.
And you could just walk right up, like Jay Lee just sitting there, just drawing.
Yeah.
You
Jay
just
Lee
walk
was
right
there. Jerry Ordway was there. But just a bunch of people.
Super accessible. Like, I'm just saying, like, Colleen, like, we just walked up to her.
Yep,
hey,
she was there. She is probably the coolest person I've ever met.
Hey, motherfucker, you met me that weekend.
Yeah, exactly. I said it. I didn't stutter.
Drove so far. Fucking bastard.
Right in the balls.
Yeah, what a dick. But, yeah, she's cool. She's cool as a cucumber. And, dude, I don't know. It was a good convention. It was a good weekend. And many Savage Dragon issues.
It's a good thing you bought that new graphic novel of hers, because apparently it's selling the fuck out.
Yeah, dude.
She apparently brought like a shit ton to sell at the con, and she sold out like halfway through day 2.
Yeah. It's good. And it's great to hear. Like, I'm saying, I love to hear, like, all the creators were doing good. Like, everyone we walked by, like, looked pretty happy and pretty, like, not that one girl. She looked like she wanted to blow her brains out, but everyone else was fucking happy. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, man, just a killer con. It was a good convention. Thank you for inviting me, dude.
Hey, no problem. Next year I'm probably only going to do one day, because now I know my limits. Unless I get super fucking ripped or something.
You just get better shoes. That's all you need. You just got to get better shoes and take breaks. Like, we were pretty merciless on Friday.
Yeah.
Like, dude, we were digging through those goddamn boxes like there was no tomorrow.
But I got to say, Saturday had like 4 times the number of people who were there on Friday, and I honestly was feeling a bit overwhelmed anyway. Mm-hmm. Saturday just wasn't as fun as Friday, just because there just wasn't as much elbow room.
Yeah.
That's always a mood killer. Yeah, awful.
I guess whatever. I like see for me. Part of the fun is the weirdos like in costumes, and like Friday just lacked the cosplay factor.
Yeah, Saturday definitely had the costume business.
Yeah, cosplay was like out of fucking control. Zach's a cosplayer, so I'm just saying, like, you want to have, like, to me, you just want to be walking around and just see cool people. Like, that's the thing. Like, they become, like, the crowd becomes part of the experience. And so, like, Friday was fun because there was, like, nobody to bother us. Like, we were just digging around back issue bins and zipping around, like, talking, like, getting around real easy. Saturday, dude, it was like, that was the spectacle. Like, cool costumes everywhere.
That was the thick of it, yeah.
BO was out of control.
Not one can of Axe between them.
Random fart smells. No. So,
what do you mean random?
Yeah, I know. I planted those
strategically placed.
So it was good. It was good. It was fun. I
suppose
it's time to get to the news. Hey,
time to do what little news we've got. I mean, it's crazy. It's been like 2 months since Savage Dragon came out, and the news is minimal.
It's been radio silence for a lot. Like, you know, just head down working.
It's just Eric is
drought season.
Working pretty hard, pretty intensely on a bunch of Marvel Comics projects, having to do with the 80th anniversary of Marvel. Like, he's got there's like a Spider-Man anniversary issue coming out. He's got a part in that he announced a while back.
He lines it out for you in the letters columns. He had to do a page in Marvel Comics 1000.
One page, yep.
And then now he's doing, apparently, the one-shot Spider-Man Going Big.
Okay.
And then there's the news item that we're about to talk about. So, like, he's got, like, you know, quite a bit going on outside of Savage Dragon this year. So, and it must have just been dropped in his lap, dude.
Well,
because
it's the 80th anniversary thing. It just kind of opens up a bunch of... Marvel's going to want a bunch of retro guys. Mm-hmm. So the opportunity just becomes available.
Right. Still, though, I mean, it's like, you got to think...
People who encapsulate an era.
You got to think, like, they fucking knew when their 80th anniversary was. Like, they could have been rounding up this shit.
You know what they didn't actually know and they lucked into? I found this is way off topic, but I find fascinating. Do you remember 2099? Like, the kind of subline of future-based Marvel Comics? Did you know that this year, the 80th anniversary of Marvel Comics, 2099 is exactly 80 years in the future?
Weird, right?
I highly doubt that was ever intended, but that's crazy how that kind of dovetails together, because now they're doing a bunch of 2099 like revival stuff just because it fits in with the 80th anniversary thing.
There's no
synergy.
Yeah. Stan planned it. In 80 years.
But yes, Eric has mentioned. He's mentioned two cryptic things. The one cryptic thing is he said, basically, kind of paraphrasing here, he's not used to having projects he can't talk about. Because he's got a bunch of stuff for Marvel that they haven't announced yet.
Right.
But he did mention that one of the things he's working on is, and I'm paraphrasing again because I don't have the tweet in front of me, it involves a character whose title he has not previously worked on.
Right.
Which is kind of weirdly phrased, mostly in mostly in the sense of it's kind of easy to figure out who it's not. It's not Spider-Man, it's not Thor, it's not Wolverine, it's not
Hulk.
Apparently it's not Hulk, because apparently he did like a fill-in issue on Hulk once. What else?
It ain't Nova.
It's not Nova. But then does World Comics, the world's greatest comic magazine, count as Fantastic Four? Does Defenders count as Doctor Strange and Silver Surfer? You know, it's still it's a bit cryptic. It still could basically mean does Marvel Comic Presents mean no Human Torch, no Wolverine, or what have you? I don't know.
So, I tell you what we do with this news item. I want to hear everybody's first speculation on what is most likely, and then second, your wish list, like what you wish it was. So, with that in mind, you're giving two responses here. You're giving who you most likely think it is, and then the second one you're saying who you wish it was. Like, let's never mind the realisticness of it. Like, who do you wish Eric was working on? Okay. So take it away, Jim, Zach, whoever.
All right. I think it's Captain America.
What? Okay.
And I wish... Oh, who do I wish it was? No, it's not that. I wish...
Back it up. Hold on. We'll break this down real quick. Why Captain America, do you think?
It's just a character I don't think he's worked on before. And
okay.
I think he could do something with, like, uniquely Eric.
Okay.
Because he's got Super Patriot. He's done Patriotic Heroes before, but he's never done Captain America.
Okay. All right. Well, shit. Well, all right. Your second part. So,
I'm trying to think who I wish it was. I guess I kind of wish it was...
Top of your head.
A Thing solo.
Whoa, that would be great. Okay. That would be good. Yeah. I'd be into
Personally, I'm thinking it's going to be probably something to do with Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Explain.
Mostly because Larson is kind of the guy these days who most embodies the whole Steve Ditko Kirby aesthetic.
That's
like
true.
He is those two guys down to the ground, and just the whole Doctor Strange aesthetic I think really worked for him. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's necessarily likely, but I think again, along with Captain America, it's one of the more likely options. And like my personal choice, it's just Black Knight. I've got Black Knight on the mind at the moment.
Man, that was actually my first actual thought, and I said no, it's
not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. Go think.
No one gives a shit about Black Knight except us.
Man, Black Knight rules.
I was gonna say, educate me. I'm not a Marvel zombie. Who the fuck is Black Knight?
No, his name's Dane Whitmore. And
you're going to go that into it.
He's got the ebony blade.
Give me the back of the baseball card. Like
he's literally a guy in knight's armor who fights crime.
He's fucking British, son.
Oh no, Dane's American.
Oh, of course he is. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Dane's American, and
New York, right?
Yeah, I think so. And he's
like everyone in Marvel.
His link to England, though, is that his sword comes from medieval England. So he's tied to the British superhero scene.
Okay.
He's cool. And
he's cool.
It's hard to... He's cool in the 90s because he's like the one character that made the leather jacket look work. Because you put the knight helmet, his helmet on, and you put him in the jacket, and then you give him a fucking lightsaber and some 5 o'clock shadow, and he's basically the most badass character in the Marvel universe.
What you described doesn't sound cool, though.
Man, I love the Black Knight. But there's no way Eric is drawing the Black Knight.
Never.
Zach had the cojones to dream big, though, and you had to dial your dream back. You dialed your dream back. You could have dreamed. I told you to pick your dream pick. You could have picked Black Knight.
I was initially going to say Death's Head, but he's got a mini series going on at the moment, so it's not likely.
So here's mine too. So what do I think is most likely? I tell you, if I'm at Marvel and I'm making the shots, you put Larson on a Spider-Verse one shot. You have him draw Miles Morales, Gwen, Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Ham, all those Spider characters.
And this is the one you think it's going to be? I don't think Eric gives a shit about any of those characters.
I don't think he cares, but I'm telling you what I do if I'm Marvel. If you're Marvel, Todd McFarlane is tied up with fucking Spawn, and you got Eric Larson right there. If I'm Marvel, I put Eric Larson in a Spider-Verse book, and that shit'll sell like goddamn hotcakes.
I feel like Eric is picking his projects. He's doing
not
Spider-Man's the favor.
The game. Listen, the game wasn't what Eric is doing. The game is what I think they're gonna pick.
Okay.
Remember that, like, Marvel is also, they're not just gonna say, "Hey, guy, you want to do anything you want?" Like, I'm sure that probably is more appealing to him But I'm saying, like, let's imagine that they want this to be something to get headlines, which is, I'm sure, what they want. You know what, to me, gets headlines is you put Eric Larson on Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy, or Gwen fucking Spider-Gwen.
Such a safe bet.
Dude, well, that was part one. I'm going to tell you my part. What I wish is that this is my wish, is that I wish that he was drawing, like, fucking something wacky, like Squirrel Girl.
That's
or something.
Not a bad choice.
Yeah, boy.
Because that's just weird. And so if you have him drawing a Squirrel Girl, obviously he has no interest in Squirrel Girl either. But I'm just saying, like, it's kind of cool, I think.
Great Lake Avengers.
Or just any of those new, like to see him on something that's like kind of like, you know, one of the new characters. Like, how would Eric do the Awesome Hulk? You know what I mean? Like, and I think he's even said he thinks Awesome Hulk sucks. But like, or maybe he didn't. I don't want to put words in his mouth.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't on his radar at the very least.
Yeah.
He's not much for legacy characters. He's all about the new. Well, which is why I think putting him on Spider-Verse books is anti-Eric. It's like
I think
the
that's
last thing he'd ever want to do.
That's what you do if you're Marvel, though. Like Marvel, like, hey, put this dude that's known for Spider-Man on all these Spider
Eric
characters.
Going to Marvel to be like a regular guy. He's there to be a star. Marvel probably said, "What do you want to do?" Yeah, that works. Or no, that doesn't work.
You don't think having a legacy Spider-Man artist work on new Spider characters is not a big deal?
No, I actually don't think it is a big deal.
It totally is.
I could see it working.
It totally would be a big deal. It totally would. People would be like, "Oh my god, oh Spider-Man, oh I love Spider-Man." Everybody loves Spider-Man. Everybody's like pissing their panties right now, hardcore. Spider-Man's like fucking.
Well, Spider-Man is cool and it is hot, but
I'm just saying. So you put that classic Spider-Man artist on.
I just don't think it is. I just don't think it is a situation where Marvel's putting him on anything. Mm-hmm. Marvel is just giving him an opportunity to do what he'd like. So, however briefly.
Backing off of all of this, then what the fuck do you think is his dream? What do you think he's pursuing? Because that's a whole other question.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say because he's been on record saying he could. I think he's basically said flatly that he doesn't care if he ever works in Marvel or DC again. So
yeah, I know, and that's why this whole thing's flipping my goddamn wig because I'm just like, what the fuck?
He said he'll never draw for another writer again, or he can't see himself doing it or needing to do it.
Doesn't like to do it for sure.
Or doesn't like to do it. So whatever he does at Marvel he's gonna have or want a significant amount of like control. Just for a one shot or a short mini series or whatever it winds up being.
God, I wish it was weird. I wish it was like Ecstatics or just something bizarre.
Something like that is like Milgram's baby.
I know, but
you don't want him to fuck around with somebody else's like current day.
Oh, but Jim, I do.
I mean, if we want to put on something weird, like have him do like Rocket Raccoon or like fucking.
Not weird enough anymore. That's pretty boring. Sentry, that was my other thing.
But even then, I don't know.
I think he could do a good job. Like, you know. I'm
just trying to think, what is Eric interested in? Like, the Doctor Strange choice, that's a good choice. Did
he ever draw Hercules?
I just can't imagine him getting hyped for a Hercules book.
I mean, he does gods. He has his own Hercules. He cares enough about Hercules enough to have a Hercules.
Yeah, but, I mean, does he care about enough to, like, let Savage Dragon sit around for months while he draws Hercules?
I just don't think if they said, hey, draw all our spin-off Spider-Man characters, Eric would take a fucking walk.
You know, I didn't shit on your choice this hard, but I
should have. He sees 10 minutes of the Toei Spider-Man show, and it's like, what the fuck is this shit?
Content.
I should have. I will next time. I'll remember this. I'll remember this. Don't you worry. I'll remember.
So anyway, there's many unknowns, many questions. We'll see in the passage of time. I mean, this stuff's going to get solicited in the next month or two anyway.
Yeah.
Just because this 80th anniversary train is going to keep rolling.
And I assume you dudes are into buying. You're going to buy it, right?
No.
No.
I mean, probably. I mean, I probably would not have bought it if I didn't need it for the podcast, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, I was going to say, I thought you told Craig that you were going to get it because you were, like, into it. The Spider-Man one-shot?
No.
Going big?
I didn't say that, no.
Oh, but Craig's into it.
Craig's into it.
Okay.
Craig is the Eric Larson Spider-Man fan.
What about you, Hawkins? Are you going to buy Spider-Man going big?
Depends how many copies my comic book shop gets in.
I mean, I definitely ain't buying at Marvel 1000. Because for
No.
one page, no. But Spider-Man Going Big, if it was Eric written...
It is.
Then that's different. Because, see, the thing is, I thought his Marvel work was going to be with a writer.
Well, Jerry Conway's name's on the book, but he's doing a separate section. It's like there's several stories in it.
Oh, so it's not all Larson?
Larson is writing and drawing his section. And no, it's
so
not all Larson. It's an anthology.
Oh, it's an anthology.
Oh,
right.
well, I'm not interested. I thought it was going to be a whole issue. I mean, if it was a whole issue...
It's probably 8 or 10 pages. I mean, it'll be a Spider-Man story.
Not enough for me. Like, if I was going to do it, it would have to be like an issue. Like, if it was an Eric written and drawn Spider-Man, then I'm there.
Well, I'm telling you that it is written by Eric.
Whole issue, I mean to say.
Oh, well, I can't help you there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're talking about a total of 9 pages between 2 issues? No.
What do you mean 2 issues?
Spider-Man 1000 is 1 page.
Well, I don't know if it's 8 pages or not. As far as I know, they could squeeze several 20-page comics in a single book. Charge $10 for it. I don't know. Has it already been solicited?
What, Going Big?
Yeah.
I don't think so. No. But I'm just not into it unless it's a whole thing. Like, I read, like, Eric's shit, not for the character. I read it because he's, like, writing and drawing it. And so, like, if he was writing and drawing Rocket Raccoon, okay, I'll fucking buy that.
That's the way.
But...
Yeah, Jerry Conway is writing the Mark Bagley story. That's what's happened in there.
We saw Bagley, too.
Yeah, he was there, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
He waved and said, Savage FINcast, cool. And I said, shut up, Bagley. Shut up and keep drawing. That didn't happen.
We're not paying for promotion.
Yeah, exactly. Silence, Bagley, you fool. No, cool, dude. All right. Well, what about this mystery project? What would it take for you dudes to buy it?
If it was a series, to be honest.
Series? You
like not ongoing, just more than one issue. I mean,
like
if it's a one shot, I'll probably buy that. Basically, if it's all Eric, I'll probably buy it. But yeah, I would prefer it to be like a 4-issue miniseries or something.
Like for me,
something substantial.
It's just got to be like at least a one shot's worth. Like, I don't want to buy part of an anthology just because he's got a few pages in there.
Right.
Like, it'd have to be at least a one shot, and it'd have to be all Eric. Like, writing, art, the whole shebang. Then I'll buy that. What about you, Zach? What would it take for you to buy?
Yeah, no, I'm in the same camp. It'd have to be writing and illustrating for me to go, yeah, that's worth my time. Like, I because I'm so deep in like the anthology circle, I'm fine with an anthology. Mm-hmm. But if that's the case, it would have to be multiple issues, as Jim says. It would have to be like at least 4 issues worth of an anthology for me to go, yeah, that's all good.
All right. Delicious. All right, well, there's no more news, believe it or not. That's fucking it. So we went months and months and months.
Yeah, it's the Baron season.
We're dying, dude. Like, spawns to issue 300, and we're dying. We're dying there's cakes with chains out there, and we're dying for Savage Dragon anything. So, no, we're good, though. I guess we got some emails, right?
Yes, we actually got some emails.
You want me to take it away?
Some of you put in the effort.
Hey, listen, we appreciate it. Gosh darn it. Thank you.
I crave it.
I'll take number 1. Here we
go.
Here we go. Thank you guys for keeping this podcast going. Definitely one of my top podcasts. Entertaining as hell. My first impression of Savage Dragon in 92, age 16-ish, was that it felt like a cross between Sin City and Spider-Man. I was a Larson fan on Spider-Man when he took the torch from McFarlane those couple of times. I thought Eric's art was gritty, dynamic, and his facial expressions were a bit cartoony. He definitely fueled my enthusiasm for comics when comics started feeling a bit glam. Jason Gibson.
Thank you, Jason.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair...
Yeah, fair assessment. The expressive faces has always been appeal to me.
I think that...
Oh, yeah.
Like, you kind of hit on that, like, gritty, dynamic, but cartoony. It's like, yeah, that's it. That's Savage Dragon in a nutshell. Like, it's, people can get murdered, but also,
Happy go sunshine.
You're going to get punched and stars are going to fly out of the punch, you know? So, yeah, it's good. Yeah, thank you, Jason. Thank you for that.
And our second email goes, Dudes, just wanted to say how excited I am you guys are doing the Retro Podcast. I just started reading Dragon maybe a month ago and found your podcast about the same time. I got caught up on the most recent 25 issues, and I really enjoyed listening to your older episodes after I would finish a comic. I recently picked up the first Savage Dragon archive in an attempt to work my way through the series beginnings. I got about halfway through before the first Retro episode dropped, and I just finished listening to it. I really enjoyed it, especially the parts about older comic book color separation and lettering. I love learning about that sort of inside baseball stuff. I hope you guys keep this retro cast going for a while, and I guess I better pick up the rest of the phone books for my new favorite series, Philip K.
Yes!
Nice.
Yes!
It's always good to get someone new on board.
Welcome on.
Any way we can help.
Yes, dude. And can I just say, like, Phil, like, I, for a long time, was just a listener before I, like, you know, got on the FINcast. And, again, I'll never lose that frame of reference. Like, it is a treat to have, like, just that extra supplement. Like, you read the issue, and you're like, oh, man, yeah, that was good. And then you, like, just boot up the FINcast, and you just take it in. And if you like that, if you like to supplement your reading of Savage Dragon with the FINcast, don't forget that Russ Burlingame does comicbook.com interviews with Eric every issue. So every single issue you can get a little insider baseball from that interview. Like Eric and Russ have a little chat about the issue and, like, you know, decision making and things like that. So yeah, like big ups. Welcome to the family.
They've got a really good chemistry in those interviews as well. So that's just lovely.
Yeah, it's good.
Great supplement.
It's good. Awesome. Well, thank you both. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it. If anybody else would like to reach out to the Savage FINcast, join us, you know, have your letter written on, give us games, give us questions, give us your feedback on the book and where it's at and where you'd like it to go, etc., etc., etc. Just hit us up at savagefincast@gmail.com, and we'll put you on. We'll make you famous. We'll put you in a show.
Make you infamous.
There you go.
So, we should probably talk about the reason we're here.
Yeah.
Savage Dragon 245. It has been a long time coming.
Yeah, dude.
We finally learned the secrets of the chained man.
I thought I was going to be a murderous, vengeful ghost before this issue came out. It's been a long time. Was it somebody, and it really hit me, somebody in the, like, Facebook groups, which, P.S. listeners, you should also join the Facebook groups. But somebody in the Facebook groups said, "The summer without Savage Dragon." And I was like, oh my God, it has been, like, almost all summer. Like, you think, like, it's late August and we're getting this issue. Like, there's back to school shit in stores and stuff, you know what I mean? So, the summer without Savage Dragon. But it's here now. It's here. We're good. So,
Eric's been too busy setting fire to rainforests.
Yeah. Somebody had to do
Topical.
it. Craig was in the wrong continent, apparently. But, so let's start with the cover, my dudes.
We talked about this cover ages ago. We got the chained man there with all his locks and iron mask and his many chain links, which I'm sure were an absolute nightmare to draw.
They were a blast, and you know it.
I wouldn't know that, no.
Chain links like this are fun to draw. Like, they're not a chore. I'll tell you what they were, probably a fucking nightmares. They were probably
like cheese. Are they fun to do?
Oh, whoa. It's pretty good cheese pun, dude. You know the risk you run when you make a bad cheese pun. You sound cheesy.
I know.
No, do you know what these chains probably was like fucking a nightmare? It fucking sucks shit to color chains.
Yeah.
Like, so So my shout outs to Nikos on this issue, just because, coloring chains sucks. Drawing them is a blast.
A lot of lasso tool.
Just imagine flatting would be a bit of a nightmare as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's soul crushing. So yeah, it's each little link, and they're not always, the line isn't always sealed. So
surely it'd be easier to just slap the color down than erase the gaps.
Dude, there's no easy way. It's a nightmare any way you go. And it's funny, as I saw somebody like an artist, like a digital artist, and he's like, I got tired of drawing. He was drawing a picture of Spawn, hilariously enough, and he was like, I got tired of drawing chains, so I made a chain brush. And like, so basically, you could just take the chain brush and just like just like, drag your cursor along, and it would just make a chain, But then
I was impressed.
The problem with that, though, is like, you see how Chain Man's chains are coming in and out of the background?
Yeah.
Like, that's really what you want, You just don't want a big bunch of flat chains everywhere.
Well, I think that the interesting thing about that brush was that it was actually pressure sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
So the harder you push it, the bigger the chains got.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Maybe not.
See, I think you're just making that up.
I could be making that up.
Because it's fun to do. So, yeah.
I thought the bigger problem was that every chain looked the same.
Oh, in the chain. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Too perfect.
In this case, every chain is unique.
Well, that's what's cool. Is yeah, you can tell. Go ahead, Zach. Sorry.
No, I was just saying It's just each individual chain, each individual link is just its own piece. And you can't do that by replicating an endless cycle.
Endless JPEG, exactly.
And I'll tell you, like, again, you take a look at like the chains on Malcolm's like body.
Yeah.
And some of the links, of course not all, but some of the links have been rendered in a way that they like appear to be twisted,
Yeah.
It's good.
The strain, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. So I'm just saying, like, it's worth the effort to draw all those links. So
I'm just wondering if Malcolm's forgotten the safe word.
That's bondage. The bondage joke was right there, dude.
Selecting tighter as a safe word was probably a mistake.
I even like the secondary cover. You flip it open and you see Malcolm in just like the negative space.
Really?
No, I said I like it.
I thought you said you didn't like it.
No, I said I even like the secondary cover.
It's very similar. I didn't do a side-by-side comparison, but it reminds me of a very early Savage Dragon cover where Dragon is getting grabbed and dragged underwater.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this reminds me of.
Oh, that was a Fiend issue, wasn't it? Yeah.
Could be, yeah.
I think that was a Savage World issue. The Lurkers Beneath the Lake, Fear.
It might be both.
Something like that. But what's even better is somebody on Facebook was like, "Oh, it's Bob Marley or Jacob Marley."
Yep.
Bob Marley.
Yeah, Bob Marley.
Goddamn, I knew I was going to do that,
he
dude.
Capture you with his dreadlocks.
Yeah, that's a good visual.
Actually, yeah, I wonder why no one's done that yet.
Bob Marley's
The ghost of Bob Marley using his dreadlocks.
I forged these dreads in life, Buffalo Soldier. No, it's even great because somebody said, dude, it's like Jacob Marley, and Eric was like, oh, more than you know. And then you flip open the issue and there's Jacob Marley, the Christmas Carol. I love it, dude. I love it. So yeah, this title is sweet. And you want to know what's funny, Jim? Tell me, did you in the digital version really pick up on that like sort of subtle like mist color behind?
Yeah, it's there.
Is it there?
Absolutely.
I didn't pick up on it at all, dude. It looks so good in print.
Looks pretty good here. My backlight cranked up to 11.
Just saying. Looks better in print.
Conversation for another day, perhaps.
But, dude, it's...
Bin diving 20 years from now.
This issue is just like a visual feast. I would say this Chain Man is a fantastic... Because, again, first the cover's awesome. Then you get the interior splash is great. And then, boom, a double-page
Straight
spread.
into a double page. Right. Which, we're going to talk about this starting with the next page. But I'm surprised at the first 3 pages. just in terms of being splash pages.
Yeah, you're talking about like abandoning the experiment?
Yeah, so we'll talk about that when we get to the experiment.
Well, let's get into it, because we're at it.
I could have swore Eric said that this was going to be an all 9-panel grid issue.
I think plans changed.
And
I remember him saying that
this
too.
This ain't 9 panels. This is 12. These are 12-panel grids.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
So, what the deal?
Dude.
I mean, I'm impressed. I was just hoping for 9. Because I love 9-panel grids.
I gotta say, I think you remember right, because we even mentioned Watchmen, right? Was it Watchmen 9 panels? Yeah. And then boom, 12. But, yeah, it's like fucking cool. I think this was a great, like, the 12-panel, like, pages were fantastic, dude. I fucking loved it. He said it was a slog, like, on multiple occasions, so I guess maybe he didn't enjoy it.
We'll have to ask him. We gotta get him on again.
But I think,
but yeah, basically everything except the first page is a 12-panel grid or a double-page splash. And that's consistent through the issue. And I was just hoping that it was going to be all grids the whole issue. So
I think
that's
it needed.
Just me.
Well, no, I agree. I would have loved, for experiment's sake, I would have loved this to be an all-grid issue. But, dude, the spreads we got in this were so fucking
They're good. They're always good. Eric is the king of spreads.
Yeah. I mean, like, the spreads in this issue are just absolutely unbelievable. But, yeah, I loved the, like, 12-panel grid. Like, man, he worked the shit out of it. It really allowed this, like, Chained Man, like, the action sequences to have a real good flow to them. You know what I mean?
And this first big spread is the big Bracakathum. Basically, it's kind of like the events of the cover, where Malcolm is all wrapped up in chains and being thrown against a building. And we meet the Chain Man, who's telling Malcolm not to interfere, and that he is walking the earth once more to right grievous wrongs, and he is here to punish the guilty.
He's a ghost.
Yeah, he's a ghost. That's a good
How do you hear the Chained Man, like, as he speaks?
You know what? It's just kind of regular voice.
Oh, okay.
Maybe booming, but not anything in particular.
Just regular Joe.
I'm not. I don't hear voices.
English.
I don't hear voices in my head. They talk to me.
I'm glad to hear that.
They just. Everyone just kind of sounds like they speak evenly in my head when I read them.
You don't hear like they're like, this ain't real. Oh God, oh God, oh God.
Well, I definitely hear, intonation, but I don't hear like celebrity voices or like it's just never worked that way for me.
To me, I just sort of heard it.
I guess everyone sounds like me.
I sort of heard it like super bass, like, only then may I rest. Only then may I know peace. Like, just like, really, like, because he's a ghost, It's kind of.
I guess to me is more like, do not interfere in matters which you concern, you mortal. I walk the earth once more to right a grievous wrong.
This is not your battle.
This is not.
Light showers at 9.
Only then may I rest in peace. Only then may I know peace.
What about you, Hawkins? Do you hear voices like as you read them?
No, I don't hear voices. I'm saying, oh God, no, I'm pretty baritone as well. Occasionally, like I guess from this guy, I'd get a kind of I don't really know Canadian accents.
You hear?
So I don't know,
you
kind
hear
of
this
raspy,
guy's Canadian?
Kind of hoarse, maybe because of his ghost. I don't know.
He is Canadian, though, technically, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. Kind of raspy, maybe.
Can you imagine? See, like, it's funny because if that guy had a Canadian accent, it kind of ruins it, doesn't it?
Only then may I rest. Only then may I know peace.
One of the guilty has paid for his crime, eh? But 2 remain.
I apologize to all Canadians who may or may not be listening.
They fucking hate that, I know, I'm sure.
It's alright, Trump will be buying it next year.
We're dumb Americans. We just can't fucking hear We can't hear it without hearing the cliche. I thought Malcolm was particularly witty this issue. I thought he was delivering the quips.
His quips are on point.
Yeah, LinkedIn is a good joke. Chainmail. he calls him chainmail at one point in the issue. Now, question. So we're flipping to the Frakazak page where Malcolm uses his lightning powers.
We were all worried about this. It was Chainman's death moment.
Yeah.
Only we got bamboozled.
Yeah, can't kill a ghost.
Ghost.
But it does it not seem though? Does it not seem like fucking kind of like Malcolm's powers do work on a ghost?
Yeah, it seems like he like quantum leaked away when he got zapped.
Yeah, but later on, doesn't it kind of also seem like Chainman is impacted a bit by lightning?
Let me double check.
I mean, it kind of. I mean, he's not like writhing in pain or yelling "youch" or anything
that's
like
true.
that.
He does. He gets shot and the bolts go right through him. But when he gets electrified, he gets like an aura.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of just seems like it impacts him. That was kind of like I was like, a little bit Ghostbusters action there.
It is actually.
Yeah. It was good.
Cross the currents.
So, I guess keeping it sequentially there, Malcolm zaps Chainman, like, busts away. He gets busted. And the cops are sure that Malcolm has killed Chainman, but Malcolm is sure. This was a good issue, I think, because of the you got to see Malcolm doing just a little bit of almost a police work, detective work style vibe. Like, he's like, oh yeah, there's two more dudes for sure. Like, but then he takes off to go shower. To go have a sexy shower.
But the important bit is that the whole reason Malcolm and the Chainman are fighting is that the Chainman chased down a guy and killed him.
Yeah.
And then vanished.
Yep.
So...
Yeah, it's a revenge quest.
Yes. And actually, I guess Chainman did say that, it's a bringing killers to justice thing, so...
Yeah, he tells him, he says there's three people, and fucking he kills the one right there. So Malcolm knows that, like, two more dudes to go.
Two more to go.
So, pop quiz, my pop aficionados. What is Malcolm singing in the shower?
So you like a tough guy, so you really like rough guy, enough guy, puff guy. You're going to say it, and it'll be obvious, but I don't know.
Zach?
It's my girl, Billie Eilish.
Oh, that's a point. You win.
I've never heard of that in the song.
It's the
yep.
bad guy.
Duh. Do. Cancel culture.
So here's what you do.
I asked Eric this, but I didn't get a response.
It was a meme for like a week.
Yeah. No. Before you go, Jim, I just got to say this. Google the song, listeners. If you haven't heard it, Google it, because it's kind of a weird, like when you put it. I never thought of it listening to it, but when you put it in the context of Malcolm in the shower, and then his like sexy sister busts in or whatever, it is kind of porny sounding.
It's extreme, especially.
This
is the awkward thing because it has got this. Now the song has got this reputation as being really horny.
Yeah,
but Billie Eilish is only like 16, yikes.
Yeah, but no, it's funny because like the whole song adds a porny, funny vibe to this moment. So yeah, YouTube that, listeners. If you're not familiar, that's funny. That it adds to the comedy of this scene.
If you're 1% who hasn't heard it at this point,
the Jim percent. You were saying, though, before you got interrupted.
I asked Eric this. I didn't get a response. Do you think Chosen Ones have perfect pitch?
Oh, yeah, dude. They hit that target they're aiming for. No, I don't know, dude. I mean, I'm going to say Malcolm has the talent for singing because he apparently has sung all his life, but probably, I don't associate dragon with it, so... Nah. I think that's just something that makes Malcolm, dude. He just is a guy that likes to sing a little. As was actually, what's funny is actually mentioned before. Maxine said you sing in the shower pretty well. And here we are seeing it. So,
so we get some current events where I guess a basketball game of import is going on. I don't know much about the sport balls.
Do you think, and here's what's so funny, given like all the attention to detail, like putting, current music in the moment and stuff, like you think this probably was a game that actually happened, right?
Oh yeah, this is the results of the finals of last year.
So you know for sure that?
90% sure.
I was going to say the listeners are probably
that the Raptors
screaming.
Won the championship last year. I'm pretty sure that's the case.
It's cool. If you're a Canadian, go to the Loose Moose for us. Take a picture. I want to see the Loose Moose. I'm positive it's a place. But at any rate, Malcolm and the family just hanging out. Maxine gets a little tipsy.
Little.
Tipsy enough to...
Can't hold a drink.
Tipsy enough to pursue the State Fair zucchini right in the middle of the Loose Moose.
So, yes, the Raptors won the 2019 season, and I'm pretty sure they're the first non-American basketball team to do it.
Oh, okay.
In NBA history.
Okay, so that's like a cool, like a historical moment put in there too.
I believe that is the case.
I'm a nerd. I don't know shit about sports, so forgive me. But then, dude,
they're actually the first non-American team to win the NBA title and first non-American team to win a championship of any of the 4 major North American sports leagues. Since the Toronto Blue Jays won the World Series in '93. So it's been 25 years since a Canadian team won a championship.
Huh. What a coincidence.
Fascinating.
Malcolm moves to Canada, and Canada wins. Just saying. What are the odds?
He's got the touch.
Wait, does that include hockey?
What was that?
It does include hockey. No Canadian hockey team has won a championship since '93. Damn.
Bullshit.
It sounds like bullshit.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds like a Wikipedia incorrect.
Anyway, I'm not interested enough to do more research than this.
Yeah, this ain't the Savage Hockey Cast. This double page spread, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Is the fucking San Francisco one is... Yep. God damn, that's great.
And I remember him, Facebooking and tweeting about this, trying to figure out, where can I put a scene where significant landmarks are visible? So we got the Golden Gate Bridge in the background, and we got one of those crazy steep hills that San Francisco is known for.
Yep.
And that reads as San Francisco.
Or the rail cars.
Yeah, the rail car. Oh, and Rice-A-Roni. I didn't even notice the Rice-A-Roni. Look at all those Rice-A-Ronis.
How do you not notice? The Rice-A-Roni was the icing on the cake, dude. Because the funny thing is so many people replied to that with Rice-A-Roni, and I was like, no way is fucking Rice-A-Roni going to be part of this double page spread. And then sure enough, there's Rice-A-Roni. It's awesome. A little thing of note, the Bay Guardian here.
Yep.
Is
got
actually
a lot going on in his costume.
Well, he is also based on a now defunct newspaper that was apparently pretty well known in San Francisco called the Bay Guardian.
That makes sense.
So, yeah, a little bit of history nod there for San Francisco. Like, those nice little touches there. I think Eric confirmed he's gay too. I don't know.
Well, that only makes sense.
Well, you think?
I mean, there's several indicators.
You can wear a rainbow cape and not be gay, but I'm just saying I think he confirmed
in San Francisco. I don't know.
I don't know. It was Manchester Pride today. I've seen a lot of rainbows today.
Yeah, I think it's possible, but anyway, we have the confirmation. We don't have to wonder. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, what's so interesting about that is that like the pacing on this issue was good, and also kind of like interesting the way he did, because all you get of San Francisco is that double page spread,
right?
And bam, victim number 2 gone. So
just grotted.
Yeah, and it's interesting too. Like, Malcolm, he didn't leave Canada to try and pursue the Chain Man.
I mean, it'd be tricky to track a ghost.
Yeah, I suppose. By the way, on the next page,
yeah,
there's a reference to something that you guys You picking up on this T-shirt reference?
Hold on. Let me take a look here. The one that says Canada?
No.
Let's see what other T-shirts you're talking about here. Oh.
Maxine. I can't quite
it's
make
very
it out,
small.
Dude.
It's
like
Sex Bombs. Okay.
Sex Bomb. It's a Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, of course.
Scott Pilgrim nod. Which is funny.
Boy.
Which is funny because I was like, I asked on Twitter, I was like, dude, is there going to be any Scott Pilgrim like crossover or anything? He's like, nah, I don't want to, He's like, leave Scott Pilgrim in its own little perfect world. He's like, it would just be weird.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
He's like, but dude, nevertheless, there's a Sex Bomb T-shirt, which is cool.
This seems interesting because we get the sense that the what am I trying to say here? Maddie's electricity is still a problem. Maxine is like terrified of her, which isn't good. And they do suggest that maybe giving her freak out wouldn't be a bad idea.
Right.
Just because she is kind of dangerous with her electricity.
Yeah. Well, on top of that, I guess the problem, and it's funny, he's like, Malcolm defends the electrical powers, but
right.
But also, too, wouldn't it get rid of her healing powers?
Yes.
It would make her a normal baby, more or less.
I'm trying to remember the circumstances here. Maddie is... She is definitely a chosen one because she was conceived when Malcolm had chosen one abilities.
Right, and that's also...
And I'm trying to remember what happens when chosen ones get freaked out. I'm pretty sure they lose their healing factor.
It just doesn't work, does it?
No, well, healing factor goes.
They definitely lose the healing factor. They have to get it back through a blood transfusion.
So what?
Now, that's what I was going to bring up.
I believe it's the exact same thing as when you get negated, in which case you stay strong, but you lose your healing factor in your super aim.
Yeah,
something along those lines.
And so again, what Maxine's suggesting here is actually like kind of super dangerous for Maddie,
right?
Because not only would she lose her lightning powers, but she would lose her healing powers too.
Right.
So,
but she would still be a dragon person.
She'd still be. You can imagine that they're reasonably tough. The kids are.
Right. I mean, they're durable. I mean, Dragon was durable when he didn't have his healing factor. Although, just being dismembered is a problem.
I still think, like, if a demonoid monster cock ate her and she didn't have her powers, like her healing powers, I think she would be dead.
Yes, very much so.
You could assume. So, yeah, that's kind of like...
Although, in that case, Maxine would have been able to pick her up and run, because that was the problem, is that she couldn't... She was being, like... She was being attacked by Maddie, so she couldn't do anything.
Oh, right. Okay.
Drop the baby and run.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, these superpowered kids, just chuck them at your problems. They'll be okay.
Can I just say, I appreciate that they didn't get rid of the sexy French maid outfit.
Yeah.
For Greta.
She's into it.
Greta Gearbox.
I wonder why.
Keep that outfit going on. Thank you. Thank you, Dragon family. I appreciate that.
I want to talk about that at the end.
Okay.
Just an overall topic. I'll get to it. I'll get to it at the end.
Fire away, bro.
So
at the end.
Then we get some actual what I would call proactive Malcolm Dragon.
Yeah.
This doesn't happen very often.
No, he's a reactionary
Malcolm Dragon
dude.
Private Eye.
He takes the initiative to actually guard this guy because somebody put two and two together that this guy must be the third target.
Mm-hmm.
This almost never happens.
I think it was Malcolm.
Right, Malcolm. Almost entirely his entire superhero career has been a reactionary character.
Yeah,
dealing with problems that come to him or happen to show up in front of him.
Right.
Whereas in this particular case, he's actually taking the initiative to protect this scumbag.
Now, to be fair, he's just trying to prevent a loss of life. That's all.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy is apparently a piece of shit. So, yeah. Lightning punches work on ghosts. I'm saying that's what this double page spread is telling me.
Oh, right. Because he's taking it on the chin. Well, like I think he's corporeal.
And he's lost a tooth.
Yeah, he's knocking his teeth out, dude. I'm just saying, that's an awesome... That's an awesome wrinkle.
I think he's got to be corporeal to kill, so...
But bullets can go through him.
Well, maybe he wasn't prepared for the punch.
So you're saying he can turn off his tangibility?
Yes, the phasing factor. Mm.
Well, then I'm going to say that I feel like lightning can fucking get through it. Because you don't see Malcolm's fists going through him on any panel.
That's true.
I think Malcolm's lightning power can hurt ghosts. It's in the books. As far as I'm concerned, Gavin, update the wiki. Because as far as I'm concerned, by the way, we try to be more new listener friendly. I was referring to Gavin Higginbotham, legendary Savage Wiki editor. Again, if you're a new listener, the Savage Wiki is an amazing resource. Gavin literally does update it with every issue. And so you can find that very easily off of savagedragon.com. So that's what that joke about Gavin updating the wiki was. But... yeah, dude, I'm putting it down as one of his powers. Like, his lightning can affect ghosts. I'm just saying. Bookmark it. Bookmark that ability.
So, Chainman kills a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
The hired goons.
Yeah, I love the shredding. Like, just the shredding panel where he's just shredding them with chains. It's so good.
And, before he can get a grip on this guy, I think his name's Cassius. Cassius grabs this other woman, Jackie, and threatens to kill her.
Which was great.
Oh, no, not Jackie. Jackie is the chainman. Gabrielle is the woman.
Yeah, you got Cassius the criminal, Jackie's the chainman, and Gabrielle is the lady. But Chainman getting shot.
Former love interest. Yeah.
Him getting shot in the eye. Like, is that tears coming out of his eye?
I read it as tears, but because the bullet does go through his eyes.
Yeah.
He could be bullshitting about his invulnerability.
I mean, it's still coming out on the next page.
See, well, that's what's weird. Is that like he's definitely, I think, crying in that final panel. Because you look at the top panel where he's saying Gabrielle, he's not crying there. Yeah. So I think like when he got shot in the eye in the first panel, he's crying, and then like emotionally he's crying in this next scene because they're both crying. You know what I mean? You're right, Jim. He must be a bit like meat.
Kind
like he can become real and affect the real world.
Yeah.
Because like you don't cry if you're a ghost. Like you don't have to. I don't know. Sorry.
And then Malcolm solves the problem.
It's great, dude.
I don't know if we've seen Malcolm use a gun before.
Got that chosen one aim, baby. Right in the computer.
That trigger's probably fucked now, though.
I like Chainman's reaction, too. What? What? Huh? Did what he had to. Which is funny because you think he came and he was like, I'm here to save your life. And then, like, Malcolm ends up being the guy that smokes the motherfucker right in the end. But, I mean, I get it. He took a hostage. Like, Malcolm had no choice. Like, he had to take one life to save another. But it's kind of funny that, like, Malcolm was at that funeral to protect that guy. And then... So I thought it worked. I thought
it's not fucking worth it.
I thought that really worked. Like that was a great, like, shocking conclusion to this sequence because I just didn't see it coming. You know what I mean?
And
the Chainman kind of gets the happy ending in the end.
Well,
sad.
As happy as you can be when you're already dead.
I think he gets the unsatisfying ending where he gets what he thinks he wants and then he just poofs away.
Yep. Doesn't get to hold her one last time.
With his indefinable tangibility.
Yeah.
It's sad, Zach. I'm just saying it's sad. I agree with Jim. I'm in team #sad ending.
Oh no, I think it's really tragic. It's kind of Man in the Iron Mask type thing.
It was good. Overall, since we're at the end, one more page to go, of course, but we can reflect. Overall, feed me your impressions. Like, Jim, Zach, like, what are you thinking? Overall, this one-off, this one-and-done tale.
I think I would have preferred it to be all 12-panel grids.
Okay.
No splashes. That's just me. I think overall it is a good contained story Compared to the last few, I think it is overall satisfying. It's got a decent arc. What am I trying to say? It's got great action, and I think there's an interesting. What I wanted to talk about was Eric seems to have dialed back on the nudity. He had like a whole bunch of opportunities this issue, and he didn't take them.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's a conscious thing that he is doing.
The end of the risky business era.
Possibly.
I mean, definitely. I will say that I've noticed that it's been dialed back to the old, erect nipples through shirts, the nerds. You get the nerds, you get the camel toes. I don't think you get much more.
And you get the sex in the stall instead of, on panel.
The bare back.
The bare back and the slightly cropped frontal nudity.
I mean, truth to be told, what's sad is, of course, I loved it. I thought it was fucking great. For me, it's a thing that could stick around forever.
Right.
I hope it's a well he feels he can go back to as needed. But sadly, I do think that you're 100% right. I think it's probably marks the end of that era, maybe. It didn't go over well, is what I'm saying. I think you had a lot more people that were pissed over it than...
Oh, there was loads of pushback. Yeah.
I think, yeah.
I don't know why.
It's a shame.
People are weird about things like that.
In American comics, especially. American comics are especially pure.
Yeah, but American indie comics, I don't know. There are more risque comics than this that come out of Image.
I don't think people think of Savage Dragon as an indie comic, even though it totally is. It's still totally high profile or not, one of the Image founders or not. This is still an indie comic, and I think that people hold Savage Dragon to the same standard they would fucking Wolverine or Spider-Man or whatever.
Weird.
It is weird because it's never been that way.
Ever.
From day one, you had sexy times, but I think
and a lot more dismemberment.
Oh, yeah. Those retro reviews are dipped in red. they're soaking. But I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right, dude. I think you are right. He, like you said, he had a lot of shots to take, and he didn't take them.
So what about you? What do you think?
I loved it, dude. First, I'm not gonna lie.
Eric, Raven.
Listen. Here it comes. I was gonna address that.
Come on.
Right. I was gonna address that.
Let it out, Raven.
No, I was gonna address that.
Let the world know.
Keep it as in suspense, boy.
No, I was going to address that. At first, I was damn dissatisfied that Chain Man didn't recur, that he got wiped out in an issue. And, again, I told this anecdote, on the Facebook forum, but for listeners that don't go there, it's funny because when I went to ErieCon and I was with longtime Savage Dragon contributor and friend of the FINcast, Mark Welser, me and him and D Fish, who did a absolutely killer Savage Dragon Ink challenge. If you remember those, that cover with all the UFOs.
Yes.
D Fish did an absolutely killer, an incredible talent, great comic artist herself. But the pinup, we all teamed up at Erie Comic Con and we did the pinup. And we just were all drawing, different characters or whatever else. And I put Chain Man in there, and because I thought he was going to be a recurring character because he looked so fucking great. I thought he was one of the new vicious, Canadian vicious circle that is slowly coming together. And dude, he's gone. And so my gut reaction was absolutely I was dissatisfied because I did not want to get again the Malcolm era has not had a strong rogues gallery. When Dragon, especially, it's funny of us talking about this, as we go to the retro reviews, Dragon from issue 1 just had badass visuals in his rogues gallery.
Cutthroat and Hellraiser, yeah.
Yeah, Cutthroat, Hellraiser, Mako, they're all there within, the first 3 issues. You're just getting, these absolutely fantastic, visuals that are just sticking around. And to me, Chain Man is an amazing visual. And I was super duper dissatisfied to see him come and go in a single issue. Of course, as time goes, you get more time to think about shit. I had a 9-hour drive, as Jim told you, 2 ways. So I had 18 hours to think about it. And yeah, dude, this issue, just if you take it for, would I still like to see the Chain Man come back? Shit, yes. Absolutely. No doubt. Because he's a great visual.
Well, the door's not closed. Yeah, it's possible.
You are correct. So that's the thing. And again, I'm not going to be Polly Pissy Panties over the fact that this guy, this one issue ended, we don't know the future. Chain Man could totally show back up. He's got a weird sort of corporeal, ghost, sometimes he's physical, sometimes he's not. He could be summoned. You don't know. There's a million directions that could go. He could be forced to show back up and fight or something like that. Anything could happen. He's a ghost, so anything can happen. But I cooled my jets on the whole being sour just because I wish he would show back up, and I just looked at the issue just on its own. And as it stands, it's a really kick-ass standalone issue. You said it yourself, of the standalone issues that we have had, the one-and-done villains, this is a really good one. I think the revenge tale aspect, and almost, I know it sounds so dumb to say it, but I don't care, I'm going to say it. Almost any time you have some sort of a countdown, that's going to make a good story. I don't know why. But you have this killer ghost that's just whacking guys, one by one. And when he gets to the last one, and Malcolm's trying to stop it, that's just a good tale.
Well, there aren't enough, I would say, magic characters in Savage Dragon.
Oh no, I was going to say this. I'm really glad that this is opening up the gates to having more spiritual villains.
Agreed.
I mean, there was the Fiend.
We need more.
The Fiend, of course. And Abner Cadaver is a really good one. But really, except for them, and I guess Giant Mummy, there haven't been a lot of them. Most of your supervillains are sci-fi villains or, mob bosses with armor. I got a real, I would say, a Spectre vibe off this guy. DC Spectre.
Who
is kind of a vengeful ghost as well. His whole deal is that he gets revenge for other people.
Yeah.
He makes sure people get the justice they deserve, that sort of thing. But yeah, he's like a revengeful ghost, and I think Savage Dragon could use one of those just kind of hanging around.
You touched on it as you were talking there. I like anything that opens the world of Savage Dragon up more. Right. For instance, I have loved all this time we've spent in Canada. I love the thought of San Francisco has a superhero with a rainbow cape. That's fantastic. And so anytime we get to peel back, because the book was so Chicago based for so long,
right?
Anytime you get to see more, and even the thing since the Malcolm era, they've gone into heaven and hell a bit more. True. And it's cool now. Here we have this ghost. And so, again, that's a whole nother other thing. Like you said, we haven't really had ghosts in Savage Dragon. Not really. For all the wacky shit we've seen.
At least not in the last, 200 issues. I mean, we had... The Hellboy crossover had a bunch of cool characters. Mm-hmm. And then I'm trying to think of any post-Savage World supernatural characters. And I am just coming up blank. They've just not been there.
There's not a ton. Like you said, I think you said the Fiend. One of
that was an old universe police officer Dragon era villain.
Yeah,
and Abner Cadaver. I mean, he killed Dragon and did that whole during the SOS era. And it's just not been a thing lately.
So it's cool. I like that it was even here at all. So.
You could maybe argue that the demonoids kind of fall into that kind of supernatural thing.
Yeah,
but
they're demon-like.
At the same time, no.
I think they're just a subterranean race that looks demon-like. But we don't know a lot about them. Apparently, one of them should be turning up in the next issue, so maybe we'll learn more about them and where they're from.
So, Zach, your overall. Give us your progress, your grade card on this.
I loved it. Solid self-contained issue. I loved self-contained issues that just tell, stories. Completely open up for the Chain Man coming back. Eric's on top form on the art department. I just adore that opening splash page.
Mm-hmm.
That's gorgeous, good stuff. But again, I'll just echo any of the sentiments that more supernatural elements in Savage Dragon is really, really needed.
I've been waiting for the return of Abner Cadaver, Fonte, anyone for ages, and Eric just doesn't seem to be interested in bringing any of them back, because I don't even think we've. I mean, I guess we saw
it's a personal thing.
Yeah, I think Abner Cadaver being like a sentient string is like.
Oh, that's great.
Is like one of the greatest things he ever created.
That is one of the greatest plot twists ever.
He's been MIA for almost the entire Savage World era, except in a few flashbacks that fleshed out in issue 200. So I don't think he was defeated.
No, dude, he fucking took off. Fonte took him.
Yeah, he took him. Oh, did he take him?
Yeah, Fonte was like, gotcha, and took off.
Oh, I guess Fonte does have him, so I guess that's why he's been missing.
Yeah. Fonte was like, I mean, remember he was his old foe, and he was like, gotcha, and I'm done.
Yeah, and Cadaver used the Wicked Worm to control Fonte until Dragon punched him to death.
Right. I don't want to end this.
Solid 9 out of 10.
Awesome, and I also
Love the
PS.
issue.
Totally agree. Totally agree. I will say I don't want to close the issue without the main issue without talking about this last page is like meaty in its own way, because here you have them having, Malcolm and Maxine have been having struggles,
His pillow talk
with everything. But then the interesting thing is that Maxine kind of throws it at him, like, yeah, but dude, you want sex like all the time, like 6 times a day.
I haven't gotten that impression at all. So it's kind of weird to hear Maxine hear that.
Well,
I think she's a bit deluded.
I don't know.
Or she's projecting.
It does feel like a projection, just based on what we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm has always just seemed to be the reasonable one.
He, to me, has always seemed passive.
I mean, yeah. And so it's weird. It's weird to see. I don't know who says I may have a problem in the last panel. I think it's implied to be Malcolm.
Mm-hmm. But, well, that's Malcolm. I think is the one saying I have a problem, which is I thought a weird twist,
Or it could be saying, "Oh, my problem is Maxine, relationship problems."
I mean, he's definitely got a problem.
Know, there's something deeper there, maybe.
He's definitely got a problem. But then you also too, it's kind of interesting because you see that like Maxine really only gets like brave when she's drunk again,
right?
Still. So even with the therapy that she's been going to, which you assume is still going on, like she's still got to apparently get drunk to like work it up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
and that's
just
fine. I don't have any problem with what's going on with Maxine. It's just if what she's saying isn't like her projecting and it's legit, I don't think the comic has established that to us. Previously.
I mean, this might be the moment in which you're learning it, is all I'm
saying.
Yeah. So like Maxine is saying, like, yeah, he doesn't come out and say, like, he literally says, I didn't say anything. And she's like, yeah, but like you give me looks, like, And so it is kind of like, it's hard to think, like, you're going to draw panels of like Malcolm giving her looks.
Fair enough.
So, I mean, I'm just saying, I think this might be, what's interesting to me, anyway, I'm agreeing. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. We really haven't seen it. This is kind of coming out of nowhere. We've really not seen like panels of Malcolm shooting looks. I'm going to agree with you 100%. Like Malcolm has always seemed more like he is just along for the ride. But then the interesting twist here, I think it's kind of an interesting wrinkle, is like Maxine is suggesting that like, yeah, he's along for the ride, but like even if he's not like super aggressive, he's still kind of like, fishing for it,
Right.
Often. Six times a day,
Mm-hmm. 6 times a day, man.
Yeah. So, interesting wrinkle. Well, it's kind of like I like to see, I think it's funny, like, I think people like said, so I forget what was talking about, somebody like, oh, this isn't going to get addressed, then it's going to be a problem. It's just it's a serious issue, but it's like kind of like Malcolm and Maxine's relationship has totally been like growing and moving and always touched on every single issue and like addressed in some small way. So, I don't know, it's cool. I thought that ending was kind of neat and set up a new weird wrinkle in things. Is Malcolm Dragon a sex fiend? That's what we want to know.
All right, Raven. I'm going to put my hand directly upon your face and push you out of the way as Zach and I gush about this backup.
Go for it.
Oof, yes.
Go for it, ladies.
That's the meat of it. Jim, no, go on. I'll let you lead in with this one.
All right, so this is a pretty good backup. It's a fun, like pulpy throwback. It stars Dragon, who you don't really see in. Well, you do see him in backups, but we don't see him in backups all the time. Mm-hmm. So this is the first time we've seen Dragon in probably a few months, backup wise. Here, let me sit up real quick. So it's just a fun little story with now Dragon, I believe, is in the Amazon, South America. He runs into a tribe of pygmies who are sacrificing a woman to a large monster, and the monster turns out to be Fiesel, who's also a character we haven't seen in a long time. Yep. So he's fun to see.
Years, yeah.
This apparently takes place at some point during the SOS era, I believe, because it involves Fiesel messing around with Martian technology and what have you. But
this delivers on a really great I'm just going to throw this in here. I know this is totally the you and Zach show, but I'm just going to deliver it. I'm just going to throw this in real quick and say that I love that this delivers on the promise, because a lot of people are like, oh, I miss Dragon. And Eric was like, dude, he can totally show up in flashbacks.
Yes, he can.
So anyway, I'm done. Keep going.
So, just real quick, one thing about the dialing back of nudity. This particular backup had tons of opportunity for nudity that was not taken.
Yeah, lots of Austin Powers in here.
Indeed. But the real reason why this is so amazing is that it's drawn by a guy named P.J. Holden, who Zach and I know going way back in our 2000 AD fandom. Mm-hmm. He is a regular artist.
He's a big alumni.
Hold on. Educate the listeners. If someone does not know what 2000 AD is, please let them know.
2000 AD is a weekly anthology magazine that comes from the United Kingdom. It is the home of Judge Dredd, future cop of the future, fastest superhero, Judge Dredd. That also contains many other science fiction and horror and sometimes fantasy strips. Every issue is about 32 pages long, where each strip is about 5 pages long. And like I said, it comes out every week, and it is serialized weekly.
Been running a long time, correct?
Yeah, I would say so. It's
77.
There you go.
Okay. Weekly. It's on issue, I believe, 2245 or 2145.
Okay, so when you say this is a 2080 artist, that is super huge and awesome.
I wouldn't say he's super huge. He's been prolific over the last decade.
He's the workhorse of the prog, really. He's the guy you turn to when you want a solid 30 pages. Yeah, fine, I can do it over the weekend.
Awesome.
PJ is a proper lad.
He's drawn a lot of Judge Dredd in particular. He's done a bunch of other stuff.
Department of Monsterology with Gordon Rennie.
Department of Monsterology is an actual standalone comic book series.
That's a self-contained.
It's an indie comic.
That's not related to 2008.
But it is a very cool series. It's about like you said, it's called Department of Monsterology. It's basically a, how do I even describe it? It's like a BPRD sort of thing, like a Hellboy sort of thing, where they investigate monster activity, but in a more academic way. Because they are I believe a department of a college. At least that's their cover.
And a few years back, which was actually my introduction to him, he did Number Cruncher with Simon Spurrier.
Oh, I forgot about Number Cruncher. Man, that was
Number Cruncher's great.
Is it about a hitman, or is it like a mob enforcer?
Yeah, like a time traveling hitman who has to deal with time loops and stuff, and just this one guy who's fucking around with the time streams constantly, so he has to kill him 600 times. It's amazing.
But PJ's also cool for other reasons. He does a lot of blog posts about
his methods,
particularly about digital art, like layout, setting up your brushes, layouts, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
His workflow process, and I find all of that very useful reading. He's just such a great kind of old school kind of artist.
I was gonna say, as a know-nothing,
he takes a lot of influence.
I was just gonna say, as a know-nothing, this is a fucking visual feast. Go ahead, Zach.
No, I say no. Dude's got a style. He's massively influenced by like the war comics of the 80s, like Battle Picture Weekly, Commando, that kind of thing. So I think he's kind of like tapped into that by designing dragons to look a bit like Doc Savage in this.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that makes sense. He's got the Jungle Explorer costume on, which is fun. It's fun to see Dragon in costumes. He's usually just in jerseys and t-shirts.
Yeah, those pants, dude.
Oh, those pantaloons.
Yeah,
with the fucking wings.
Fantastic. I will say again, as a know-nothing, like the facial expressions of Dragon himself.
Oh, PJ's a complete cartoonist. He's great.
Love it, dude. Like, Dragon is so, like, facial expression cartoony in this. It's so good.
Just that one panel where the pygmy's biting his ear.
Yes, dude. That is the literally one I'm looking at this moment. That's great.
Yeah. It's just really great seeing somebody who you've been a fan for years come along for 5 or 6 pages on another comic that you really like. It's like this has happened before when Simon Fraser did a couple of pages for Dragon.
Yeah, the Twisted Funnies conclusion.
The final Twisted Funny story, and again, that was sending up to 2000 AD in a much more apparent fashion. It's just great seeing someone you've been a fan of for years doing something you love.
I gotta say, I get the sense that PJ is a Dragon fan.
He's always definitely a Dragon fan.
Which is obvious now that I think about it. I kind of want to ask him if he wants to interview, but being over in the UK like you, timing will be an issue. I'll have to look more into that. He's just such a cool sort of artist, and I just love it. And now I know who my pick is for my dream Dragon Judge Dredd crossover is.
Like one of the handful of guys who's drawn both.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah, dude. Absolutely. Like, I would read the shit out of that.
But it was a fun surprise. I did not expect to see him in the book, and as soon as I realized who it was, I basically squealed.
I even love. I'm just gonna give like some more props and gush. Like, I even love like that Zach where the like Martian ray gun is like breaking the panel borders. So good, dude.
Oh, that's funny. That's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great stuff.
He does a lot of work with like the panel borders and stuff.
Oh, it's good. Any time you're doing stuff like that, that's fantastic. And
I think he draws all his own like effects.
Yeah,
as well.
I'm pretty sure those are his sound effects that he's drawn into the art.
We don't have to guess. Hold on here.
Oh, good point. I mean,
letters Farron Delgado, guys. That's I was going to say that looks digital to me. That is Farron Delgado. So
is that typical? Is that the letter does the sound effects?
I would imagine. I mean, that Farron's been knocking the shit out of him. So like that wrench, that's all Farron Delgado. Like that, like the hand is like the zip lines, the motion are in the wrench. Like as soon as I saw that wrench, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's Farron Delgado." So yeah. But I mean, still though, like again, there's so much good cartooning here. Like when Feasel is shrinking, even the way the panel starts bigger and gets more narrow, like that's good sequential art, baby. That's just good stuff. And even like Zach, I was talking about faces. Like even that face, like in the middle of the last page, where like Dragon's just sort of smiling as he talks to her. It's just it's great.
It's the Captain Hurricane face. I love it.
So good, dude. So yeah, this backup is 10 out of 10, dude.
Yeah, I'm delighted with it. Again, it's just kind of one of those things where I didn't expect it to ever happen. I'm really glad it does.
But is Foxy a 10 out of 10?
Easily.
See? Someone else gets it.
Do you like Foxy, Zach?
I think he's cute. And that's all it takes. I'm easily pleased.
I give Foxy a 1 out of 10. I did not like Foxy at all. No, I'm kidding. I just, hey, you're going to put me on blast? I just didn't love it. That's all.
It's very Scandinavian comic type, very like Moomin. And I know that's not for everyone.
Moomin. Now, there's a pull.
Put it in the tags. It's kind of like Moomins. It's like, whoa.
Well, I think more people...
Very relevant again.
It's weird. So, I feel like thanks to Twitter, more people know Moomin.
True.
Because people on Twitter love Moomin.
He's the next Domo-kun.
He's everywhere. Yeah. Even if you don't know Moomin, like, you know of him if you have a Twitter, usually. But I didn't love it. I like Moonbeard a lot better.
Moonbeard's funny in a more obvious way.
Mm-hmm. How was Foxy? No. How was Foxy funny at all?
It's not funny. It's cute.
It's très cute.
It's IKEA.
This little girl Fox just drawing on things that aren't hers. Fox said no.
I see, the thing with Moonbeard for me is I didn't find it funny because it's that kind of penny arcade humor that just doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah. That's a low blow.
It's a little more like what's the word I'm looking for? The web comic. It was Perry Bible Fellowship a little bit.
Yeah,
and that you kind of it has kind of a dark ending.
I love it. That's what makes it good.
Yeah,
like if Foxy had gotten murdered by a sentient AI, oh baby, that would have been funny. Now that is a funny punchline.
What I don't get though is, are they being locked in the closet or are they being locked outside? Because I don't know.
It's like a 2001 Space Odyssey reference. Like you even have the red like basically they're trying to gyp the AI, and then like the AI realizes it's being gypped for Mother's Day, and then they get locked out and they get murdered. So I'd assume they're in space.
I guess there's a little bit of like smoke on the floor in the next to last panel. So
the Event Horizon series is a bit different.
Yeah. I don't know. The funnies are always just kind of interesting.
Hit and miss.
Don't sell them short. They're usually awesome.
Yeah.
I kind of miss having Night Watchman stuff in them.
You like Night Watchman?
Night Watchman was fine. My big problem with Night Watchman was it was daily strips at a monthly pace.
Right.
Yeah, but see, I like that.
Yeah?
You like daily strips
at
a monthly pace? Zach, what?
It's fine. It's fine. I read webcomics with worse release schedules. It's fine.
Unbe-fucking-leavable. All right. And I'm just going to say shout-outs again for this beautiful Copra backup. Back cover.
Oh, boy.
This really makes it good. All in all. Yeah. It's a kick-ass issue. I don't know. Yeah. I was bitter about Chain Man, but dude, leaving out super pleased in the end. I want to say that I asked for people to respond about the issue with their takes and their, whatevers. We got Matt Hickman, who tells us that backup was a great pulp story. Totally agree, Matt. Thank you for contributing.
Damn right. That's actually a thing I'd like to say. Jim, are there any other 2000 AD alumni that you'd like to see do a Dragon backup?
Oh, most of them, but
most of them.
Henry Flint for absolute sure.
Name names.
Yeah.
Henry Flint.
When you see it,
thing is, I think Flint would be down for it.
I'm sure he would. He's down for a lot. He's got a very he's a very ink heavy type of artist. He's he's really hard to describe. He's got almost like a geometric style. He comes out of his influences are more like Milligan.
I'll drop in the group chat.
Not Milligan. Who am I thinking of? Starts with an M. I feel awful.
McCarthy.
And like Kevin O'Neill, Nemesis era. Kevin O'Neill, of course, is the artist on League of Extraordinary Gentlemen with Alan Moore, as well as
Savage Dragon Martial Law
as well, with Pat Mills. Henry Flint has a style not quite like that, but it's similar. At least in my mind, it is. Henry Flint's my big number one with a bullet. Of course, Carlos Escuerda would have been
R.I.P.
But he's gone from this world. One of the great artists of all time. I put him in the same caliber as Jack Kirby.
Oh, easy.
He's the British. Well, he's the UK Jack Kirby, in my mind. Carlos. Shoot. There's a lot. There's so much talent in 2000 AD. It's hard to even narrow it down.
Colin McNeil, I think, would be a solid fit as well.
Oh yeah, and again, he's a guy who would probably do it because he's prolific. He's done U.S. comics before. He's primarily best known for doing art for Warhammer 40K, so he does big beefy guys pretty well, as well as just generally drawing weirdos. What are you doing, Raven? Googling?
No, just sitting here listening.
Oh, okay.
I was Googling. I was looking for a good reference picture for Henry Flint, and I just got drawn into the Titan pages. But no, anyway, that's... I think we've talked enough about the backups and stuff.
Yeah. Real quick, do you want to go over Ninja Turtles Urban Legends number 12, Raven?
Always, bro.
All right, so this issue's
Go for it, lads.
another Vanguard crossover issue.
This was juicy for Dragon fans, even though there's
and you know
like...
what? Didn't we talk about this with Gary?
See, that's what's weird. It's weirding me out because we did talk about it, but we didn't really give it the
review it, right? Like overall, we talked about because we did talk about this girl turtle gag,
right?
For
timely.
Sure.
It was timely because they just Sophie Campbell just dropped her design for the new female turtle.
Right, that's why we were talking about it.
And so, and Craig was saying, but you did a female turtle here, and then we looked it up, and as timing hit it, remember that was the rule, they had no female turtles because there was the female turtle in the show.
Yeah, in the Saban show.
Right. So it's kind of like the whole female turtle thing. So that's what you're remembering. But we didn't truly give this issue.
Right.
Yeah.
So this issue kicks off. We're in orbit on Vanguard ship. We get this great orbital vista with this satellite. It's pretty fucking cool.
Looks beautiful in color. So good. Lurch comes in with the old the old trick. Mikey's feeling it.
Yeah, he turned. Lurch has turned himself into a female Ninja Turtle with breasts and everything.
Mm-hmm. That's how you know.
And I believe it's Mikey who's getting tricked.
Oh yeah, Mikey's getting tricked.
He doesn't like his goopy form as much.
I mean, Mikey just not very imaginative. Infinite possibilities.
Yeah,
but whatever. Just have Lurch turn into Hortus. Whatever.
Yeah, anything.
Anything, really, yeah. Not a very teenage decision there. Like, if I was Michelangelo, I'd be like, dude, you gotta let me have Lurch.
It is pretty funny that Vanguard does describe Lurch in terms of like a vacuum cleaner.
Utility,
where we know in the future he does become his own person.
Yeah, Lurch was still on that journey. Lurch was getting AI. Like he was saying, Lurch is just a tool. Nothing.
But we get more info about
Rayburn, the murderer.
The Death Watch character. Roxy's going through his autopsy reports.
I love this grisly. I just want to give props for this grisly recounting of Rayburn's serial killer past.
Right.
Because it feels like a lot darker than anything else that's been going on, Rayburn is basically just I don't think they say he's doing any child sex stuff, but he's definitely likes to murder children. Which makes it instantly darker. If you're a murderer, sure. If you're a serial killer, okay, awful, scary. But then, like, if you're a child serial killer, that's Freddy Krueger caliber. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I like how, like, with Roxy's recount of Rayburn's past, he becomes an infinitely darker character.
Indeed. And then about 10 seconds later, Roxy is smooching Vanguard after recounting all these horrible acts.
That's when, and again, like I said, like, even though you really only get Vanguard in the beginning, like, there's all kinds of great references to dragon characters in here. Like when, like, Leo tells Mikey, he's like, who's a better kisser, Hortus or Lurch? That's good, dude. And then you got Raph bitching, and he's...
Yep, we catch back up with Raph, who's just returned to New York in his flying car. He's turning to the New Lair entrance at the cemetery.
He's like, I took on the entire vicious circle by myself. I was like, yeah, it's good, dude.
It's pretty good when that includes guys like Powerhouse.
Yeah.
That were there.
I think he's exaggerating what he did, but still, it's, like I said, cool for a dragon fan, you know?
And he gets cracked over the head by a mysterious figure. Probably Casey Jones.
Great crash. Love the, like, you know, Saturn and the stars and stuff.
Yep. It's a classic sound effect. We're actually back up in Vanguard ship. What's going on is they're getting some readings on Donnie, who apparently died previously, and now the armor is in control of what's left of his body.
Yeah, Wally's telling him, like, dude, he's brain dead. Sorry, like, your brother does not have brain activity. Like, there's no brain activity going on.
And the other two, Leonardo is not having none of it. He doesn't believe this for a second.
And Cyborg gets up and confirms it. He's like, yeah, dude, he's dead. Like, I'm alive. And then it was funny, the Cyborg says something interesting. He's like, well, like, you know, I need his important organs, like his heart, but I don't need his brain.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's weird as shit, dude.
This is an ongoing story with the Cyborg Donnie thing.
And again, we praise the colors, but, like, dude, it just looks so good. There's just so much good stuff going on.
There's a lot of good coloring going on this issue.
Yeah. Really good
I'm
shit.
so glad they got that sorted, because it has improved a lot since, like, this first and second issue.
And it's killer now. Like, it absolutely, like, enhances. There's so many great little flourishes. But, now, then they decide that they're going to go and track Rayburn to Sheldon, Arkansas.
Why were they going to Arkansas? They're going to find where Death Watch got abducted, right?
Well, they see, like, they're looking in orbit and they see Rayburn's ship, right?
Right.
And so that's the ship that he originally he launched into space as part of, like, a serial killer's helping. Like,
oh yeah, that was a whole thing where he was a convict, so they were using him for space travel experiments.
Right, and really far ones, like Jupiter.
Yeah.
And so, like, he went to Jupiter, and, like, the last transmission they got from him was a cry for help.
Right.
Well, then they, like, see his ship there, and they're like, oh, well, you know, let's figure out, like, where the hell he was going. And it's like, yeah, it crash-landed. The ship crash-landed in Sheldon, Arkansas, which was Rayburn's hometown. So then they're like, oh, shit, let's go there. You know, it's got to be, like, what's going on. Like, that's where he is.
So, yeah, Mikey, Leo, Vanguard, Roxy, and Donnie, and maybe Wally, they all go down to Earth. But meanwhile, Raphael wakes up, and it turns out it was Casey who knocked him over the head.
Mm-hmm. He's concussed.
Concussed, he is not great.
Concussed, hungover. A hungover Ninja Turtle. And so, yeah, that's when Casey fills in Raph about the mob boss that's trying to kidnap Shadow, get his granddaughter back. So this is the first Raph's learning of that. And then they talk about the fact that the ninjas killed a bunch of dudes in a surveillance van, and Casey thought it was the Ninja Turtles, but Raph thinks it's the Foot because obviously it wasn't them. And so Raph's like, well, fuck, I'm going to go talk to the Foot and see if they know what's up. And so the Turtles and Vanguard arrive in Arkansas. You know, they get surprised by what they think is just a scarecrow, but actually turns out to be a murder victim of Death Watch that he killed, drained of their life, and strung up in a field.
These are some very big crows.
Crows can get very big, Crows can get fucking huge. And then they see where he fell. He fell, from his satellite. They see literally the crater where Death Watch apparently just fell from space to Earth. and popped out of the crater and just started killing people. So.
Yeah, you can kind of see a humanoid shape where he landed. That's pretty funny. And then I guess the issue kind of concludes with Raphael goes to meet with the Foot Clan leaders, try to figure out what the deal is.
And the heads of the Foot get greased by the mob.
Yeah, they're just regular old mobsters with Tommy guns, just murderlating everybody.
Yeah,
and Raph barely avoids getting caught as well, but he's ready for the fight. He's ready to go.
Yeah. He says, he makes it clear, he's like, the Foot, Shredder was the enemy, not the Foot.
Right.
Since Shredder has been gone, the Foot have even been the Turtles' ally. He even goes so far as to say that the Foot were looking after Casey and them while the Turtles were out of town.
Yeah.
And so, he lays it down right there. He's like, the Foot are our allies, and now these mob bosses are after Casey, and they're after the Foot, so I'm going to take out these mob guys, So you can see the road. We know, because this is we already know that he ends up like the new Shredder. But you can see the ground being laid right there in that sequence for Raph to step up and take the reins as the new Shredder. So for me, just personally, I was super pleased. I think it's picking up fantastic. So, yeah, I'm really whereas I was kind of only in it initially for the turtle stuff.
Yep.
This whole mob boss, I don't know why I didn't give a shit about the mob boss thing the first time.
Well, it is still a continuation of that story. Basically, this
right.
is retaliation for Mikey rescuing Shadow.
Right. I'm just saying, when I first saw the mob stuff, it was, the thing I cared least about in the whole series. Because, they're just normal mobsters, dude.
Yeah.
They
don't even have powered armor or anything.
You look at the dudes. We've had Komodo.
Yeah.
And we've had Rayburn, Death Watch. And we've had the Foot. And we've had, cyborgs and shit that were working with the Foot. And so, we had so many cool guys, and then here comes just these regular-ass mobsters. Mm-hmm. And they want to, kidnap Shadow, who, to me, is new, and so I don't really care about Shadow.
Not her at all, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't give a shit about Shadow. I didn't even know who the hell she was.
Yeah.
But knowing that, it's going to be, mobsters versus ninjas, and they, pressure Raph into becoming Shredder and stuff, I don't know, for some reason, it's working for me. So I'm kind of cool. I'm kind of on board with this. So, I don't know. I'm cool with this. Yeah. This was, for me, this was a high-scoring issue. I give it an 8.5 out of 10.
I do get the sense that the crossovers are going to taper off now, and it's going to be primarily a Turtles story going forward.
Yeah.
But I'm still on board, to the end at least. We'll see where it goes.
Yep. Friends to the end.
Yeah.
So now I'm pleased, dude. I'm like I said, I went from sort of just reading it for the dragon shit to I'm feeling it. So
Zach, you still awake?
Yeah. I'm really enjoying listening to it. I've not been keeping up with the image reprints of the IW reprints of the Image run. I'm told it's really good. I love Gary Carlson. So I'm probably going to pick up the trades. It's just money being a bit skint at the moment.
Well, I'll tell you what. I was shocked. IDW is notorious for really short, very expensive trades where they collect 4 issues for $20. Apparently, the Urban Legends trade is a 12-issue chunker.
Oof.
So it's a good value once you get your hands on it.
Yeah, that's going on the Christmas list.
And I guess, if they're going to add 3 more to the end, I think there'll be 3 volumes of that, and that'll be everything.
Nice.
Which is cool, because back when they were reprinting the Archie Ninja Turtles, I was really interested in those, but there were just 4 issues, and a volume was just crap.
Yeah, that's taking the piss.
Oh, that's awful, dude.
But yeah, I think that's it for this episode of the Savage FINcast. Any other thoughts, guys?
Savage Dragon 246.
All right.
Solicitations.
It's been so long.
Return of the Scourge. Malcolm Dragon's deadliest foe returns, more powerful than ever. Another outstanding achievement from award-winning writer-artist Eric Larson. And we have a great cover of the Scourge bashing up Malcolm.
Scourge next, and then it's Demonoid King.
Yeah, and the slate says September 18th, 2019. So
I will believe that when I see that.
I will believe it when I see it as well, but we can be hopeful, guys. Be hopeful. Be hopeful, not hateful. So, yeah, here's hoping. But think about it. If 246 hits in September, 247, 248, 249, we could have 250 by New Year's.
Oof.
I have my doubts.
All right. I mean,
we'll see where we're at.
Trying to stay optimistic.
Come December.
Trying to stay optimistic, but you Ebenezer Scourge. Whatever.
I'm hopeful.
Be a hell of a celebration.
I'm cool with it. 2020, 250. Well,
that'll be cool because I'll be reading for 50 issues.
Yeah. Congratulations, Zach. Well, welcome back, Zach. Good to have you on.
Good to have you on, Zach. I know it's been a long time. It's tough to coordinate because now it's 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
10 past 3.
Good Lord,
Let's wrap this up then.
It's a good job I'm a night owl. A night owl as opposed to a day owl. What the fuck am I about?
Early birds.
So thanks for listening, everyone. You can always email us comments, questions, suggestions at savagefincast@gmail.com. You can find us on our website, savagefincast.com, where you can find all of our episodes. You can also find us on the iTunes podcast. You can find us on Google,
Twitter,
Google Music Podcasts. We're on Twitter, at Savage FINcast, I think.
Just look at savagedragon.com will lead you to a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
So savagedragon.com and then just start a-looking.
So thanks for listening, and next time, I'm trying to think, we'll probably be doing retro review next time. Hopefully it's Wildstar Part 1 and 2.
Hey.
If we can get some time in to record. We're a little behind.
It's not your face just because it's been living on your face.